So in one word, and just one word, Kim, what is your professional style?
Casual.
So I'm here with Kim Swift, who's the creative director for Airtight Games, but you probably might know her better as the creative genius behind Portal. Can you tell me a little bit, if I've never played the game Portal, what is Portal?
Okay, so Portal is a first-person puzzle game where you have control over this device that makes portals. So one's blue and one's orange, and you can see in one and not the other, and you can also move them wherever you want. So let's say there is a gap that I need to cross, and I can't jump up and get to the other side. I can put one portal next to me, and then I can put one portal on the wall on the other side of that gap, walk through one and out the other, and solve a little puzzle. And it definitely gets more complicated after that.
And it was a massive commercial success.
You did pretty well. We
Yeah.
were certainly surprised.
And not only that, it was one of the few games, to my understanding, that the MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art here in New York, just decided to add, I believe it was 14 video game titles to their
That
permanent
sounds about
collection.
right. Yeah.
Somewhere in that range. And among some fairly obvious ones, like, Pac-Man, they also picked Portal. And that must feel pretty good.
Yeah, it was really surprising. I mean, the game started out as something that we initially did as students, so the fact that it's had this amount of success is always shocking and surprising.
So let's talk a little bit about that. So you were going to school at a place called DigiPen. Just tell people who don't know what DigiPen is sort of a little bit about it.
So DigiPen is a technical school located in Redmond, Washington, which is where Microsoft is, and Nintendo of America. And they specialize in the art of creating video games. So they have an art program and they have a computer science program. I graduated from the computer science program there.
And you were working on a project your senior year. You're going to have to pronounce it for me.
The project is called Narbacular Drop.
What does that mean?
It was something that one of my teammates made up.
Okay.
We wanted to make sure that we named the game something memorable and that
And hard to pronounce.
and that no other game could possibly be named, which is the case. And yeah, every year at DigiPen, as part of the curriculum, you make a game. So over the course of my 4 years there, I made 4 different games with a team of people. And our senior project was Narbacular Drop.
And so then you got a meeting with one of the most powerful men in video games based on this project, Gabe Newell, who, if people don't know, runs Valve and Steam, which is a distribution platform. How did that come about?
So once a year, DigiPen puts on a senior showcase for all the graduating students that year, and they bring in lots of different game companies in to take a look at student projects and different students. They had little mini interviews set up there. And Valve is not far from DigiPen, and so they sent a couple of representatives over, one to take a look at art and one to take a look at the programming track. And they thought the game was interesting. And, after critiquing it a little bit, they said, hey, this is a really interesting idea, here's our card. And so about a week later, we called them back, thinking that, hey, maybe we can weasel our way into Valve to ask advice.
Weasel your way in, yes.
Yeah, but a little more innocently, like to ask advice on how to make our Narbacular Drop better, because we were going to submit it to the IGF Student Showcase later in March. So we're like, hey, these guys are pros, they know what they're doing, let's have them tell us how not to suck. So we took the game there, and we were thinking, we're just going to show it to like maybe 2-3 people, and people just kept piling into the meeting room that we were in, and it stacked up to be, I don't know, like 20-something people packed into this room. And, Gabe Newell came in and sat down, and we started demoing the game, and after about 15 minutes, Gabe stops us and asks, hey, so what are you guys doing after you graduate? And I answered, well, hopefully getting jobs so we can pay back our student loans and eat. And he said, okay, and then grabbed a couple people, left, and then another 15 minutes pass, and we get escorted into another conference room, and Gabe asked us on the spot, hey, do you want jobs? has about...
That's the greatest job search story I've ever heard.
It was pretty incredible. We were all like, wait, what? Are you punking us? Like, this is a joke.
And you ended up staying there for a while, for like 5 years,
yeah,
right?
about 5 years or so.
And you worked on some other games while you were there.
Yeah, so after Portal, I worked on Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 as an artist and a level designer.
So we only have time for a couple more questions, but I want to hear a little bit more what you're doing at Airtight nowadays.
Okay. So the team that I run is about, say, 20 people, and we like to do kind of interesting, unique puzzle games. The last game that I came out with my team was called Conundrum, and that came out on PSN, XBLA, and Steam earlier this summer. It's still available, and it's still awesome, so you should pick it up. And we're, in the process of doing some mobile games while we're in between larger projects.
So a lot of people really, really love video games and would love to find a job in that space. People, think that they would like to do it professionally. From my understanding, a lot of people end up in sort of low-end, perhaps dead-end jobs, testing games and so forth. What would your advice be to somebody who really wants to emulate what you've done?
Make stuff, whether it's in your spare time or at work. I mean, if you're in a QA job, strike up a conversation with a level designer and say like, hey, if I wanted to make a level, could I maybe do that and show it to you? Would you look at it? Make friends and talk to people. Despite what people might think, the video game industry is really social. We're all a big interconnected group of friends, and so just talking to people, getting advice, and building your portfolio is the best way possible to get that star job in the industry.